Identity theft is one of the most common types of fraud that is happening every day and costs our societies millions of dollars. Identity theft has experienced a continuous and exponential growth, driven by every minute increase in usage of the internet, social media, and mobile devices. Learning about identity theft protection is a must to protect our business and our privacy, and has nothing to do with our age, gender, type of our business, and our geography. Hi everyone, my name is Changiz Sadr. I'm a retired communications infrastructure and cybersecurity engineer and a member of OSPI since day one. OSPI was established in year 2000. I'm currently a member of leadership team of Space Place Canada, ERI Advisory Board of Engineers of Tomorrow, and Board of Directors of Engineers for the Profession. Professionally, I have been recognized as the most dedicated communications engineering consultant in Ontario and as the finalist for Telecom Professional of the Year. And for over 20 years of my volunteer services, I have been awarded Canada Sovereign's Medal, 2 PO Order of Honor Awards, and 6 Ontario Volunteer Service Awards. Verizon is one of the major telco service providers in US with a global footprint. They have over 200 data centers across the globe. And every year they publish a report called Data Breach Investigation Report based on reported cybersecurity incidents and data breaches. Based on their latest report from 2020, I share with you a couple of slides or charts. First chart is on a global scope. As you can see on this chart, it says 72% of data breaches were involved large enterprises. And this indicates that the size of enterprise does not really matter for the cyber attacks. And also you can see 58% of data breaches had personal data compromised. That's the target for every cyber attack, to get the personal data and then use that for financial gain. And as you can see, 86% of breaches were financially involved, and that's exactly the main reason that I mentioned. That's the ultimate goal of cyber attacks. There are some other the purposes, but the financial gain is the ultimate goal. On the same report for North America, as you can see, 80% of the data breaches were through phishing attacks, which is a huge number in North America. And 80% of the data breaches had happened through the stolen credits, which is, again, coming from phishing and identity theft. So what is the purpose of identity theft? The main one is access to your financial accounts, which is called accounts takeover, the main reason. The second reason, some hackers hack into your online accounts, such as Amazon, Netflix, PayPal, and to gain access to your online account. Third one is to use the stolen data to defraud others through emails, using driver license, SIN number, opening a new account, requesting a new credit card. And finally, they use the stolen credit for making a secondary attack for a bigger gain. So when talking about cyber attacks, the most type of cyber attacks that we are dealing with every day, first one is malware, is a malicious file that infects our system, and it comes to our system through the different ways: virus, Trojan horse, worm, and whatever, different types. Ransomware is when attackers lock your system completely or encrypt one of the most used files that you have, usually financial files or business files, and then ask for ransom money. Denial of service attack is a type of service that attackers flood a server with thousands of requests at the same time. And because server cannot respond to all those requests at the same time, freezes up, and then server goes down. And this is a web server, then the web will be down. Password attacks is, again, another thing. Attackers try to get your password and get access to your file. Drive-by downloads is when we download free files from the internet. Remember, nothing is free. Specifically, if the files that we download from internet has the open source nature, because it is open source, very easily a malicious code can be added to it, and then we download and infect our system. Man in the middle, the attacker sits between you and your service provider, or between you and the other party you are communicating with, and pretends that the attacker is the other party and gets your information. Dumpster diving is when we dump our statements into the recycle bin. All those statements have some personal data on it, name, address, sometimes SIN number, and other things. So the best is just to shred them or to burn them. And finally, the most common type of attack, as you saw on the chart, is phishing, which is if a general phishing through email or other manners of communication, which I go to it just in a second. If it's a general and go to a group of people, is phishing. But if it's going to a specific person by name, it's called spear phishing. And if the target is the C-suite executives of a company, it's called whaling attack. So talking phishing attack is a type of social engineering which can happen through phone calls, through instant or text messages, through social media, and through emails, the most common type of phishing attacks. So talking about phone calls, one type of the phishing phone calls that we are receiving, and I don't believe there is anyone who has never received the CRA fake calls, is exactly through getting your information. I have taken this information from CRA website. CRA very clearly on their website, they say that we never do these things. We never ask you to divulge your personal or financial information through email. We never request payments by credit cards. We never give taxpayer information to someone else unless that person has a formal authorization. We never leave personal information on an answering machine, and that's very important to pay attention to, because when we are not available by receiving those CRA fake calls, they leave a message on the answering machine without saying any name or anything and leave information, and that shows exactly the call is fake. There is one exception. If we call CRA and while we are on the phone, we ask for a file or a link, and they will send it to us while we are on the phone. I'm giving you a couple of real-life examples here. This is an email I received in 2018. The sender has spoofed my email address to make me believe that my account has been taken over and he has access to my account. This is a long email. I have only put the bottom portion of the email. On top of the email, it says we accessed your camera and we took picture and videos of you doing this, doing that. And then what they do, they ask for $1,000 US, and they give you, or they give me, this may happen to you as well, the Bitcoin account number, and they say if within 48 hours you do not pay this money to us, we publish those pictures and videos. What is the best solution in this case? Usually the best is to Google, to search for the unique piece of information on the email. What is the unique piece of information on this email? The Bitcoin account number. What I did, I searched that Bitcoin account number on Google, and as you can see, 112 cases were reported on just on this account number. So this is a fake email and just delete it and don't pay attention. Another example, real life. We all are engineers, and we work as a consultant, majority of us. And of course, we are expecting to get engineering work. So this is an email I received in 2019 from an engineering company with the name, and they want independent contractor. What is better than this for me? And then it is signed by someone from human resources. But there is one suspicious thing on this email. When you look at the sender's email address, is Outlook.com. Why is it Outlook.com? So what I did, I searched the name of the company on Google, and as you can see, the company exists. It's a legitimate company, and it has its own domain. So if that email was really coming from the company, it should have had the domain of the company, not Outlook.com. So that's another way to look into the phishing email. So the best protection is to go through some rules, which I call them golden rules and silver rules based on their importance. And if we comply with these rules, we can protect our identity. First rule, never ever provide any information to people who have contacted you, even if you know them. If I am 100% sure the person who has called me is someone I know, even someone in my immediate family, I should not and must not provide information to that person. The best is to call that person from the number we have and verify if that was really that person who called us. Second rule, never ever click on any file or any link that we don't know its nature. We don't know it's coming from who. We don't know specifically if we are BCC'd on. And the third one, never ever act in a physical environment before making sure it is safe. This is mostly for ATM machines, for gas stations, pumps. When we want to pay by credit card, we make sure we look around to make sure that there is no, hidden camera somewhere, or there is no a piece that they put it on the card holder. We can pull it out to see if it comes out, or, check the physical environment before we do anything. And some silver rules. Always set up a strong password. The best password is the combination of letters, numbers, and special characters. And of course, the best authentication is to use minimum two-factor authentication. A password and, something else using, a PIN number or something that you can set up with the portfolio and the profile that you are using it. Rule number 2, never respond to email from unknown source, specifically if you are BCC'd on. Usually the first attempt to attack is they have a bunch of email addresses. They don't know which one is valid, which one is not, and they send an email to a group of people, and they ask for some information, and they want to see if someone responds back. Then that response means validating that email address, and that's another point for making the second step of the attacks. Number 3, always, if possible, use a VPN, virtual private network, to connect to the internet, specifically if we are in a public place like airport, like coffee shop or other things. Rule number 4, always set up a reliable backup. If a ransomware attack happens and they lock our system completely and we cannot do anything other than reformatting our system, it's best to have a backup system available. Always disconnect your device from internet when it is idle. That's what I do, and I recommend this to everyone to do it. When you are not using your computer, just disconnect it from Wi-Fi. This way you are sure that your system is not connected to the internet. Of course, the best is to turn it off, the computer, at night, in the evening when you don't use it. But if you don't turn it off and just leave it to go to sleep mode, just the best is to disconnect it from internet. disconnect the Wi-Fi connectivity. So remember, protecting our identity is really a number one responsibility of everyone. I hope everyone is safe and protected, and thank you very much. Take care.